Welcome to the James Cooley Show. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, I hope everybody is having a wonderful hump day is what they call it because it's Wednesday. I tell you, sometimes it takes us a while to just wake up during the week, but by Wednesday you should be ready to go, and I'm ready to go, and I'm sure Michelle is as well because we got a absolutely fantastic guest that's going to come on. He's been on the show a couple of times, and he's always extraordinary with the knowledge and the information that he brings to our audience. And I tell you, he got another good topic today. So, how you doing, Dr. Michelle Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, James. A little excited about this guest returning today. He's been on the show a couple of times. He always has very educational, informative information for us, and breaks it down. And we're really excited to have him back.
I'm excited to have him back because we are living in this time where health is wealth. It's always have been, but I'm talking about it's more prevalent now, and a lot of people are trying to uh, get healthy, maintain health, and stay healthy. But the cost of living is so much right now. I'm talking about inflation and etc. It's kind of hard to keep up with the prices where you can get the right nutritionist food, vitamins, etc., healthcare, all of that to maintain a healthy body, mind, and soul. So I'm excited about the show today. So, Michelle, can you tell our viewers and our listeners, first of all, the title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Yes, most definitely. So the title of today's show is Staying Healthy on a Budget. So we're having a sit-down discussion with board-certified clinical nutritionist, clinical pharmacist, CEO of Metabolic Code Enterprises, and author of Cracking the Metabolic Code, James B. LaValle. We're going to talk about eat like you're in the blue zones, forget fresh, go frozen, rethink your protein, get serious about supplements, channel grandma with meal planning and coupon cutting, and extend your dry January throughout the year or as long as you can. So let's tell you a little bit about our guest today. He's been a recurring guest on the show. James B. LaValle, R.Ph. CCN, is a clinical pharmacist, author, board certified clinical nutritionist, and CEO again of Metabolic Code Enterprises with 40 years of clinical experience in metabolic and integrative medicine. He serves as the academic co-chair for the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine and is an appointed faculty member and course educator for the Integrative Medicine postgraduate program at George Washington University School of Health Sciences. He has authored more than 20 books, including Cracking the Metabolic Code, and serves as a scientific advisor for probiotics.com. Please welcome back to the show, James B. LaValle. We're going to call him Jim.
Jim works. Hello, Dr. Michelle, Dr. James. How you doing?
Good.
And Jim, man, it's
I got my Wednesday on.
I see. It's always a pleasure having you on because I tell you, believe it or not, and you done changed a lot of things that I do, for as eating and nutrition and just a whole lot of things. Because sometimes we have to sit back and just look at the person in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you heard what Jim said. You heard all these good things. How come you're not doing them? So it's a pleasure having you back on, my friend. Hey, Jim, first of all, for the people that might have missed your last couple of times you was on the show, can you tell them a little bit about you, where you at, where you grew up, and what makes you click?
Well, I think God makes me click. So, I mean, if we're going to go right to the top, I think, being a service is what makes me click. I mean, I was originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I was born, lived most of my life in Ohio, then did about 10 years in California and ended up here in Fort Worth now the last few years. And look, it's been a 40-year journey of helping patients both individually. So I've been in practice and I have two practices.
Hold on 1 second, Jim. I just thought about this. You right up the street from me.
I am up the street from me. You keep threatening to put me in the street,
I don't understand. Next time, you're gonna be here with me.
I better be. I mean, I'm starting to think I'm unwanted or something, or maybe I'm eating too much of my Italian garlic. I don't know.
No, man, I clearly forgot because we back and forth to California.
Oh, of course.
And when I was just thinking, when you mentioned that, I said, that's right. He's right up the street, 20 minutes the most.
Exactly. Exactly.
We got to get you in here next time.
That'd be the best. That'd be the best. But, it's interesting because, I've been doing more and more work with, working with big organizations to implement health strategies for their employers as well as for their customers. And I think, now more than ever, it's really important for people to understand that they need to make choices to be healthy. And it also scary because they think, oh, that means I'm going to be buying, more expensive food. And I don't know if I can afford that given today's world, $7 eggs, $10 bags of apples. I mean, the prices have gone up and it is harder and harder to manage that. And what makes, and honestly, like I said at the beginning, what makes me click is I wake every morning I wake up excited about the work that I get to do, my team gets to do, and just getting out there and really motivating people to change their lives. Because the one thing I know, if you feel good, everything you do is better. And I mean, you're a better parent, you're a better spouse, you're a better neighbor, you serve better, you go to church better. All those things happen when you start to take control of your health and feel good about waking up in the morning and, hey, how can I serve? How can I do something that's going to make a difference?
Wow. So Jim, I just listening to Michelle saying you've been doing this 40 years. Man, you barely look like you're 40 years old, man. What are you doing? I know you're teaching it and you're preaching it, but obviously you're living it. Tell our viewers and listen a little bit about that.
Well, I'm 63. I'm going to be 64. And so, look, I watch my diet. I already got my workout in this morning, so I try to get moving. I don't train like I used to when I was a young buck. I mean, I just try to not hurt myself these days. But I'm committed to a lifestyle that promotes health. And I've been that way since my early 20s. I mean, 40 years of following this path because, I think I had a conversion, when I was 22 years old that I needed to change the way I was doing things. And this is how I landed. And I have to tell you, and there's no filters on this. So this is my skin and, this is my color and I didn't put any filters on me. So I guess, I'm and you know what, if I'm getting in front of thousands of doctors in a year talking about longevity and anti-aging, and if I'm going in front of fitness club members like Lifetime Fitness, trying to teach them and talk to them about what they can do for their health, I'd better be the best darn example there is on the planet if I'm going to get on stage and I'm going to tell people that, hey, you know what? If you eat better and exercise, you got a shot at looking a lot better and feeling a lot better. So I better look the part. So I think it's a responsibility. So thanks for noticing.
It is. And you mentioned just like me. I mean, I had a lot of days, Jim, I do not want to get up and do that 6 miles. But I don't want to do it because it's just like, okay, your body's hurting, your mind is not right. But you know what? Before I can finish thinking about that, I'm 3 miles into it. It's a lifetime. It becomes a habit. At least I think it is when and then you make a deal with yourself that you have to get out there and do the best thing that you can for your health, your body, even when you feel like you don't want to. And so what would you tell our viewers out there that a lot of them are probably, they don't want to do it. They ain't thinking about doing it, but tell them why they should do it.
Well, I think, first of all, people don't realize that your actions end up creating your future health. That's what the metabolic code is all about, is a way to program in your labs and how you feel and saying, well, how far are you away from being well? So you want to think about, where do you want to be in 5 years and 10 years? Do you want to be spending your time going to the doctor's office? Do you want to have trouble walking? Do you want to have to use a cane? Do you want to have trouble getting up a step? Or do you want to just take some simple things and adopt a lifestyle of health? Meaning that you don't have to be perfect. I'm not telling everybody they got to wear nubby Birkenstocks and do wheatgrass shots every day. But, we can learn a lot from those blue zones. There's people in other countries that are living a long time. And they're living a long time because they have some basic ideas and thoughts that are common. And I think you don't have to try to do it all at once. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they try to do too much at once. So try to adopt, hey, if I'm going to move, maybe I'm going to start with a 10-minute walk because I don't walk at all right now. I'm going to start with 10 minutes up the street. And I'm not going to stop to talk to anybody. I'm not going to take my phone. I'm going to actually concentrate on my walk. Unless you're going to hear some music or you're going to do something like that. And then the other thing is I'm going to try and change one healthy habit about what I'm doing with my diet each day. And when I master that, I'm going to go to the next one. And I'm going to try and accomplish another healthy habit. And I think that's the biggest difference for most people is they feel overwhelmed. And you don't need to be overwhelmed. You really just need to take that first step. And that first step starts a journey. It gets you on a path. And as long as you're committed to that path, you're going to get somewhere. So I always tell people it's work, but it's worth it. How many people, I'll tell you what, how many people want to have joint pain? Raise your hand. Right? How many people want to have a heart attack? Raise your hand. It's think through your health equation and make a change because it's time for people to start to make changes. We got record levels of diabetes in our country. 50% of our population is either pre-diabetic or diabetic. We're approaching 50% obesity. Even with the Ozempic craze, we're approaching 50% of obesity in the next 7 years. So we got to get to work because everybody likes to feel better. And last I checked, your car doesn't work without maintenance. Your house doesn't look good without maintenance. Your clothes don't look good without maintenance. Nothing looks good without putting some work into it. Your body's the same way.
You're absolutely right. And those are the type of things that we have to explore a little bit more during this conversation today because it's a mindset. And it's developing the mindset that I want to live longer. I want to be around my kids and my family, my grandkids and all that. But action, just like you mentioned, you got to take some action.
Exactly.
We're going to take a station break, but wow. Just like I told you, I told you. Jim is going to bring it and he's going to educate you. So if you want to be part of this conversation, whichever platform that you're watching this on, all you have to do is just go to the comments and just ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. And I tell you, one of my most favorite guests, been on the show many times, is Jim. And I tell you, I mean, just like I said, he always wants to bring it. And it's always educational, but it's up to us, for each and every last one of us, to be able to allow the knowledge, the education, the understanding, the focus that he gives us, and accept that and do lifestyle changes uh, for the good of us. And so, Jim, I just want to say again, man, I just love having you on the show, man, because you always are a blessing. And you changed my life a couple of years ago with that aged garlic. And I think I told you last time you were on the show, I've been taking off pretty much all um, my medicine, blood pressure medicine, diabetes. I'm down to 5.6 A1C. I mean, just with not just that, but a lifestyle change. I mean, dieting, getting up, doing 6 miles. I mean, eating right and listening to my beautiful wife. She keeps me in line. And a lot of people don't know when you make those type of changes. It's like the commercial we just showed. Healthy lifestyles, depression, overweight, obesity, etc. Confidence, all of those things are so important that but it comes from a healthy lifestyle. What are your thoughts on that, Jim?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people don't connect lifestyle with maybe why they're overweight. Good example. I'm under a lot of stress. And all of a sudden, when I'm under a lot of stress, I get home and I look at that bag of potato chips sitting in that pantry. I grab it and hug it and love it and start eating them. And I don't stop eating them till I lick my finger and get all the salt out of the bottom of it. So stress can start to change the way we select the foods we eat. We reach for comfort food. And when you're on the way home from work, I mean, there's no broccoli stands to pull over. You go into the gas station, there's lots of cookies and chips. You got the donut shops on the way home. You got liquor stores on the way home. You got everything other than things that are healthy, that are easy for you to grab. And so lifestyle is everything. It's consciously saying, I enjoy this. I'm not being deprived because I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm giving myself an opportunity to feel better. And I try to get that across with all my clients over all these years is, nothing I'm saying is, something I'm taking away. It's something that we're giving you an opportunity to participate in you really blossoming into the health you deserve. I always like asking the question to people, how far away from the ideal health do you think you are? And that starts to frame up, well, what action should I take? Where do I start? And, I think that's basically it. It's, understanding that if you're not getting enough sleep and you're stressed out and you're not moving, you're going to pick the wrong foods. And that stress is going to cause you to store fat better. And that lack of sleep is going to make your blood sugar go up. And all of that combined together starts pushing you down this path towards chronic illness instead of chronic wellness.
Wow. So Jim, you do so many things, and this is going to lead us into the title of today's show. Why did you choose the title of today's show, Staying Healthy on the Budget, especially when inflation and money and all of these things are kind of like scarce in a lot of people's lives? But there is a way, I believe, that you're going to talk about how they can stay healthy even being on a budget. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So the first step is that We eat a lot of food here in this country. And in fact, I'd probably say that we overeat. You know, you get biggie meals, you go and you get a dinner, you get a full plate of food, you know, and then if you're lucky, you get free seconds. You know, you order the meal that you know you're going to get the free second on. So we've adopted this culture of eating, you know, and, you know, I don't know, but I don't think chicken wings have been put on the superfood list yet. But, you know, I like them, but I can't make that a staple. I can't make nachos a staple. I can't make burgers a staple. I can't make pizza a staple. I can't make pie and cookies and cake and ice cream my staple, and drinking soda pops. That's not soda pops. Tells you I'm from Pittsburgh. We all call them soda pops, you know, but that's not picking things that make sense. And I'll tell you what the evidence of it is. I know we talked about it in the intro. Dr. Michelle had said something about blue zones. Well, blue zones are areas in the world where people live to over 100 years old, more than any other percentage of populations in the world. Now, there's some secrets to it, but we can apply those secrets in our lives. But it's going to be important to understand it's not just about what you eat. But let's start there. So when you're in a blue zone, people eat more vegetables. You know, I have clients come into me all the time and they say, I don't do vegetables. I'm like, you don't do vegetables? You never learned to eat them? Let's figure out how you can learn to eat them, right? So they eat more vegetables. Fruits, but I always tell people 3 vegetables to every fruit, because otherwise people are eating, you know, pineapples and dried apples and all kinds of high sugar stuff. And that's the minimal fruit stuff. I mean, if you want to have some berries, good, apple, pear, but 3 vegetables to every fruit in your day right away. They eat more legumes like beans, peas, really good because they're high in protein, they're cheap to buy, and they're a high source of fiber. So they have more beans. They eat smaller portions of protein. Doesn't mean you can't have protein. I'm not telling people to become vegan or vegetarian. I love protein, but I eat a lot less protein than I used to. But one thing I'll say is that people over the age of 60 actually have more protein than when you're in your 40s and 50s. That the studies show that, you know, you're going to have better longevity if you're eating more protein. The last thing is that you're not eating a lot of sweets. And they eat smaller meals, and they typically are eating, 3 times a day in a 12-hour cycle. We call that here, time restricted eating. Well, you know what? Growing up in an Italian household is you had breakfast, 7 a.m., you had lunch, 12 p.m., you had dinner, 5 p.m. And if you're a good little Italian boy, you got a treat at 7 p.m., and then the kitchen was closed. That's a 12-12 eating plan. I can't believe how smart my mom was. That's amazing. She is on to that 12-12 eating, back 50 years ago, 60 years ago, right? So eating too much, eating too often, eating too late is a big problem. When you look at these blue zones, Sardinia, Italy, Icarus, Greece, Loma Linda, California, right? There's Okinawa. In general, people are eating more plant foods. They're eating, moderate amounts of protein. Are getting in those legumes and some grains. But here's the deal about grains. In Sardinia, you're going to walk up and down, you're going to do about 5 miles of walking, and it's all at a high incline because that whole community is built on hills, and you're an 80-year-old climbing up hills all day long just to go get your food. The other part that's important is that people are respected as they age, meaning that the elderly are embraced. There's social context. There's a sense of community. They get together around the dinner table and they eat and discuss things. We've lost that part of unloading our day. Let me tell you about, hey, how was your day today? Let me tell you the problems I had. Or, hey, I had a great day. Well, how was your day? Right? That sense of having each other's back was consistent across those communities. And I think it's really important to understand that yes, it's what they ate. Healthier foods, less of them. Yes, it's how they moved. Very active. It's also important of the social context of not working 14-hour days, taking time to have a meal with your family, talk to people, right? Don't create social isolation. And those are the people that live really long. And now the trick is, how do I afford to eat those kind of foods?
And you are absolutely right. And a couple of things that you said, eating too much. Michelle and I have learned over the years that I tell you, restaurants, everybody like to go out to restaurant, but Michelle and I would not go to all you can eat.
That's
We
where
won't,
trouble.
we won't do that.
Well-
All you can eat buffet, all you can eat this, all you can eat that. And we have taught ourselves, disciplined ourselves that normally when you at one of these type of places, that if you can't get it on your plate the first time around, you don't need no more. I mean, so discipline, and not just because it's there. And you're right, 50%, I say 50% or more of the US population is obese in some way or another, or at risk with all of the things that you talked about. Diabetes, heart disease, obesity, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Just because we don't take the time to think about, you don't have to eat 8 pounds of food a day in order to stay healthy. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jim. I don't think I can eat 2 pounds of food a day. I just don't think. I mean, I'm not cut out like that no more.
Once you get out of it, once you develop a habit, and once you allow your body to get the signals that you're full instead of eating out of an emotional need. I mean, you think about it. If I'm going to go in and spend money on all you can eat, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat all I can. I paid for that, man. I'm like, where's those crab legs at? I'm going to tear those crab legs up. I'm going to target the value. But the point being is that, one of the things that happens is people go, well, I can eat fast food cheaper. That really isn't the case anymore. I don't really go to fast food, but when I look around, I see, you're going to walk through some fast food restaurant, you're putting down $10 for yourself. It's not like you're getting some deal. You're getting it for $1.50. You feed a family of 4 on that, you're out $40-$50. Well, what does that mean in terms of bags of groceries? $50 will get you a bag of groceries and probably get you 2 meals, maybe 3 if you plan them out.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a station break, but I want to come back and talk about that one, because that's the title of the show.
Sure.
So I tell you, like always, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on and listening to us on, and I tell you, ask this great man any question that you want to. We'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z, and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's live, and my absolute guest. And now you see why I have to have him on every now and then, because his understanding, his education, I'm talking about in this value that he brings through 40 years of being a nutritionist, or being a pharmacist, or being, not just that, on his own business, and all of the knowledge and understanding that he has attained over the last 40 years. And it's invaluable to us, because we need to be picking up just a couple of other signatures that he is saying. He put it out there, but if you get that, that's how you see with the teachers Jim. They, like, when they want you to really take a point in, they either slap the desk down or something, because you will see it again.
Right.
And if, in life, if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't understand what is required, and I know many of you are talking about, well, we just don't have the money to do all of these things. We don't have the money to, or the budget. Well, that's what Jim is talking to you all about today. Some of the things that we need to be focusing on, some of the foods, some of just the health benefits. But I believe it's going to require all of those things, and it's also going to require physical fitness, along with eating right. And the stickability, where once you get your mindset right, that you don't see the cheeseburger over here run by McDonald's. And it's like, and you back on the same track. Jim, can you pick it up from there?
Yeah, obviously, man, you're going to make these choices every day. And remember, when we talked about that first journey that you're going to take, it takes that first step. And just saying, hey, you know what? This is my favorite food in the world. I love cheeseburgers. And I usually eat cheeseburgers 4 days a week. I'll tell you what, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to go down to eating cheeseburgers twice a week. Even something that simple, it's a single step that you need to do. And look, one of the biggest challenges is when people buy fresh food, a lot of times it goes rotten, and fresh food's expensive. Go buy fresh vegetables. Fresh fruits can be expensive. And, but yet they're very valuable to your health. And so something as simple as buy frozen. People don't realize when frozen food is picked, it's picked at its height of freshness and nutrient density. So they get it, flash freeze it, and now it's sitting there in the freezer section waiting for you to buy it and eat it. And of course, fresh frozen vegetables is a lot more reasonable than trying to go to get the fresh produce. And I'm not saying maybe what you do is you go buy your salad fixings, because you can't buy frozen salad fixings too much, right? So, but you can get the salad fixings that are fresh, but then you go and buy some bags of vegetables because they're reasonable. You only have to pour out what you're going to use. The only thing you got to do is make sure you don't overcook them and create that broccoli mush that I know I can have happen if I'm not looking at it, right? You get the old broccoli mush. But I love it. I'm still going to eat it. It's just, it's so important that people understand that, when I went from having 4 members in my family, in my household, my father and my son. My father was 90. My son at the time was maybe 19, back from playing football with COVID. They brought him home. I had to have a full refrigerator. I had a 250-pound linebacker eating out of my refrigerator. You know, I mean, that kid, he can flat out wipe a fridge out in a day. You know, so you know, bills are big, and my pop, he ate more than my son. So the point being is, when it got down to the two of us, all of a sudden we're filling that fridge and food's going bad and we're throwing it away and we're looking at our grocery bill. And I started to do things like, I'm going to order food. So so if you're not going to order food, if you're going to walk in the store, plan out those meals, buy what you need for those 5 dinners, right? Plan that out. Don't get distracted down the candy aisle. Get the dinner food right. And I would happen to order it and have it brought in, you know, shipped to the house most of the time. Then we go to the store to pick up the things that we can't get that way. My grocery bill cut in half, and I ate the same quality of food. So plan your meals. Use frozen, both for your vegetables and your fruits. Why not? They won't go rotten. We've all had that thing where you open up the lettuce drawer and all of a sudden you look down in it and there's a bunch of brown stuff growing. And it even talks back at you a little bit. It's like, what are you looking at? Right? It's alive. It's alive, right? You got to get rid of that stuff. But things mold and they break down, and you lose money every time you do that. And so it's really important thinking about fresh produce and think about incorporating frozen, because frozen works. It's reasonable. And especially if you're a family on a budget, you can get a big old bag of frozen veggies pretty cheap.
Well, not just that, but a lot of people, me and Michelle, I'm talking about primarily me. I do pretty much most of the shopping for food in my house, right? And I'm a member of all of these stores. Amazon, Tom Thumb, Vons, all that sort of type of stuff. And you mentioned like vegetables. Every week, one of these stores is going to have the salad, the $4 salad, on one of those stores for 99 cents.
Yeah.
And you can get 4 of them. I'm just telling you, we eat a lot of vegetables in my house, and all of the stores are right by each other, so you don't have to. And so I have learned over the years that you know, if you got a car, if you got a way, in the store over here, store over there, over there, get the paper, look at it, and go and get what you need, and save money. A lot of people just go in there and just grab stuff. They don't care about the price. I care about the price.
I look at every darn price tag, man. I'm looking for the value. I mean, I do on everything. And you brought up a good point. You know, you remember, if you're old enough, like me, old as dirt, I remember sitting down on a Sunday with the Sunday paper, cutting out coupons with mom. You know, most people say grandma, but I'm old enough, it'd be mom. You know, I'm cutting out those coupons. We're going to the store. We're getting our coupons out of the envelope that we had. We got
and plus you're getting double coupon day. You know,
yeah, what's better than that? Oh no, don't give me any free food. I don't want that. Is there any way I could pay double instead of get double? Is there any way I could do that? Right? Why wouldn't you look for those? And then you get the S. Back when I was a kid, we would connect the S&H green stamp.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you get a book of those things done, and you get a free knife or a pot. I mean, what's better than that? And but today we got this, and
Absolutely.
you can have the app to every grocery store right here, and you can look through that store, see the specials of the week, and do exactly what you said. Is, oh, you know what? Here's my list that I'm getting from this store, and here's what I'm getting from this store. And I don't know. I don't think people mind saving $50. $50 is gas for the week, sometimes 2 weeks. $50 is a dinner out with your loved ones. $50 is a lot. And you can, I'm telling you right now, if you adopt these principles, eat some frozen, get some cheaper proteins in, do a little bit of beans and rice here and there, right? Get those beans in, eat smaller portions of protein. You don't need that 12-ounce steak. Get the small one. Eat chicken, all that. Although chicken, my gosh, it may as well be filet mignon nowadays. I mean, I paid $20 for 2 chicken breasts the other day in a store. I was like, $20? I used to buy this for like $7 2 years ago. I guess the chickens are just that much more delicious. I don't know.
I not tell you, protein, chicken, all this other type of stuff. And I like to cook. I mean, I just, I like restaurants. Me and Michelle do, but I know what I'm putting in my food. And
100%.
I know that I'm going to shop and get the best prices that I can. And every now and then it's a treat. And that's another thing, viewers and listeners out there. You don't have to go out to eat at a restaurant or a fast food place. I know people that do this every day.
Wow.
At least 4 or 5 days a week. Go to the fast food restaurants or this or that because they said they don't have time. But also they don't have the money because they done spent all this money at these restaurants or these fast food places. Like Jim was talking about earlier.
That's
so
right.
It's certain ways, it's certain mindsets, it's certain, I call it attitude, Jim. That we have to have an attitude adjustment if we want to be able to live like we want to. I'm talking about have something in our pocket, have something in the house, be able to do certain things. So it's a disciplined, I believe, disciplined attitude that you have to have, like looking at the apps. You can get the same without cutting the coupons. You can download them on your phone when you go to these stores or wherever that is, or you do a price match with these things.
That's right. Well, you know what's funny about what you said on that fast food thing? People say, I don't have time for that. But they got time to get in their car, burn gas, go to the fast food place, take the time to come back when you could have taken that same time, prepped your food, half the price, and no gas. So Absolutely. It's all about really looking at when people say, I don't have the time. Well, tell me what you're spending your time doing. And I think when people cook, they become connected to their food. It becomes nourishment to them. It becomes important to them. And look, we all have that challenge of food deserts, right? In a lot of cities, you got the food deserts where it's very hard for some people, and especially lower income families, to be able to get food. But even then, you've got, certain grocery stores that if you can't do it 100%, try to do it 50. Try to do the best you can.
Hold that though, because we're going to take a station break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the myth of organic foods and just regular foods. I mean, the benefits of both. And, we're just going to continue this great conversation with Jim. And I tell you what, if you want to be part of the conversation, you still got time. All you have to do is go to whichever platform you're on, ask any question that you might have, and we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And wow, I'm gonna say it right now, Jim. Gotta have you back on real soon, man, if your schedule permits.
Invite me to your studio and I will be there.
Oh well, you're gonna be here, man. Next
All
time,
right.
gotta
in.
make sure we both are in Texas because I'm heading to California next week. I got a couple of book signings and a couple of speaking engagements. So looking forward to heading. And plus, we live in California just as well as here, you know. So, but before we get started, our viewers and our listeners, first of all, thank you. We just went over 23,000 subscribers. We're averaging 1,000 per week now, and
Wow.
it's all you. It's all you. I want to just say thank you. Thank you so much. I gave you guys a promise in January that I was going to release 4 books, bestsellers. I just going to tell you that 3 of them are out. The coffee book just came out. A Black Man Point of View, Mind, Body, and Soul, and etc. And we got one more that's coming out next month that I'm a co-author in that one, and that's a bestseller as well. So it's been a busy year, but all of this is possible because of support from our viewers and our listeners, and actually having great guests on like Jim LaValle. I mean, I'm telling you, it's many. Guests. All of you guys are so important to me. I mean, but I tell you, it's important to have guests on that's going to educate our viewers and our listeners and our public around the world, not just in the United States. And so, Jim, the things that you're doing, that's what you're doing. It's not just a United States thing. We got viewers from all over the world that's watching and getting educated, and they're like, okay, I see. You got the great Dr. Jim LaValle and all of that. I mean, he's educating. Let me steal some of that. So they're writing it down as well. You know? So I thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much.
Always fun.
And Jim, I want you to dispar the myth that people feel that they have to go and get all organic this, all organic that. And a lot of times, organic, I love organic myself, but I dip and dab with non-organic products, and I get the same effect out of it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I love organic foods because they're grown the right way. I think they're just getting expensive as can be. So if you can't have an organic food, there's something called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So the Dirty Dozen is posted on the environmentalworkinggroup.org, EWG.org, not-for-profit group that just lists the top most sprayed foods and the top least sprayed vegetables and fruits, so that if you're going to go and buy non-organic, we'll pick out of the Clean 15 instead of the Dirty Dozen. And that's going to help you out. Environmentalworkinggroup.org, EWG.org. And then there is some evidence that you get a little bit more nutrition out of it. Let's face it. Whether you're eating organic vegetables or non-organic vegetables, it's better than eating a Big Mac. So, I think, any fresh produce you have value. Now, how do you wash them? If you're familiar with Dawn dishwashing soap, Dawn, get the non-scented one because you don't want your food tasting like morning spring breath or whatever they call it, right? You get the non-scented one, put a few drops in the tub of your sink water, and you soak your produce in that. Why that's important is Dawn is known as a surfactant. It will pull any of the residual stuff that's been sprayed off of it anyway, and then you soak it there for 15 minutes, wash it off in the sink. There you go. You're clean and good to go. And it's a cheap way to clean your food, which is not a bad idea just from the standpoint of sanitation in general. So it's a cheap way to do it. It works well. And that way you can kind of, get a little extra measure of protection on it. And but I think, like I said, organic or not, I wouldn't eat from the Dirty Dozen. I'd sure eat from the Clean 15. And then I would, just still work. How am I going to get those 7 servings of vegetables in and 2 servings of fruit in a day? right? Because that's where we need to be. And you mentioned you were using that aged garlic, and it's really changed your life. Well, that's another idea. I mean, they've got a new product out that actually works on your immune system, your heart health, and your bone health. So if you're somebody that wants to take supplements, but you're on a limited budget, the Kyolic Heart Bone Immune product, I think is what it's called, Heart Bone Immune. And I'm passionate about that because there's just so many studies on it. There's more studies been on that since you got onto that train.
Well, Kyolic, I got all. I probably should have brought those up here. I got about 6 of those products. The Kyolic. I mean, if you got a cholesterol level of 280 something, and now, a year and a half, almost 2 years later, taking these things, listening to what you had told me initially on the first show a couple of years ago, my cholesterol level is 156.
Look at you.
Can you believe that?
It's that 6 miles you're doing too, my man.
Well, it requires all of those things. We got less than 2 minutes on the show. Jim, can you tell our viewers and our listeners how can they get in touch with you? How could they be clients of yours? How could they get the products that you recommend? I mean, you got a minute to do that?
Sure. They can go to Kyolic.com. They can certainly look at the Kyolic products. Probiotics.com points them in the right direction. Go to JimLaValle.com. You can send a message to me. I mean, I got a way to send a message on there. And then, if you want to be a client, just say you want to be a client. If you got a question, hit me up. I'll do the best I can to answer as many as I can. And just there's always information, ebooks, all kinds of stuff up on my website.
Wow. And how could they get your books? You got over 20 books out there. How could they get some of your writings?
Amazon carries them. You can go to JimLaValle.com and you can see which one you want to get. Then you can just get that title and put it in your search bar and say, hey, I want to buy that. Your Blood Never Lies is a great book because it teaches you how to read a blood test for health instead of a blood test for being sick. Your Blood Never Lies is a great book. I'm actually writing the second edition of it right now. And I got 2 books coming out this year in addition to that one. So I got to get to work. I mean,
you got to get to work, Jim. And just like I promised 4 books at the beginning of the year. Did not know if I was going to do it. Have done it. So, hey, but Jim, I want to invite you back, my friend. I just love these discussions that I have with you. Want to get you back on real soon. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on the James Cooley Show with your wife. I got to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another superb, outstanding show. I got to thank all the PR folks, especially Jim's PR folks that we work with and that get us a great clients. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show with your wife, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. Remember, it's your life, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.